Welcome to video 18. We need do nothing. Truly, we needn't. Hello, friend. Thanks again for being here. In my last video, I talked about God's inner circle, including everyone. So it's actually the outer circle. Since it has no border and there is no inner circle, it must be the only circle. How do we become a member? We need do nothing because we were created as a permanent VIP member. God doesn't play favorites. He gave us heaven because he gave us all heaven, being that heaven is the state of eternal oneness, which is the definition of what love also is in truth. We already are one with that. Been there, done that. Today's topic is, we need do nothing. That's right, nothing. Not now, not later, not ever. And we can start today, right now, and the sooner the better. Whoa, you must be thinking, I don't trust God enough for that. Would be an accurate thought response in your unconscious mind. In the conscious mind, it's more like, what the F? This guy's insane. Stop that video now. The truth only hurts because we don't understand it. Once we realize that the truth is 100% safe, 100% benign, and forever kind to everyone, and that it can only bless, and bless in a way that's beyond belief, we can finally let go of the world and finally spread our wings of our true spirit nature and fly above the dark swirling clouds of the world below us, which is in a constant state of suffering and disappointment. The world is not for us. It's not for anyone. It's not worthy of our inherent worth, appointed by God himself upon conception and created to be as it is forevermore. Today, we expand on the concept that God's circle is the outer circle with no inner circle, thus the only circle, and how that idea translates into the need to do nothing, or to do anything, or the non-need to do at all. How can this be? It's because it already is. God's creation already happened. It happened all at once, in eternity, all of it. There's nothing left to be done. In eternity, once something happens, it stays done. It can't change because it requires time for something to change. And in timelessness, there is no time. What is eternal is timeless, and it's now. Admittedly, this is not an easy idea to grasp, let alone believe, but truth is true for all time and beyond time, and it never changes, which is one of the attributes of truth. It cannot change. In the world we believe we live in, it's all about change, shifting states, changed minds. Things are born, then age, then die. Nothing stays the same here. So how can it be counted on? How can it be true if 1 minute it's this, then it's that? Even what we call love here is totally unreliable, as you know. In this world, because of the constant changing, it seems that we must do something simply to keep up. It feels as if we don't do something, either nothing will get done or things will get worse. But when we realize that it's our doing something, when nothing had to be done, is how we got ourselves into this mess in the first place. We can then decide that, perhaps, we were wrong and maybe we should just let it be. Why is this hard? Because we don't see the world as good. Sometimes parts of it seem okay, then they're not. The whole idea of good is open to interpretation and only causes division between people, because if some of us are good, then others of us are bad, and well, that's not good. So, what to do? Nothing. How? Why? Because it's already done. But why does it seem not good? Perhaps it's because we are judging everything and everyone all the time. This is not what time is really for. Time, like everything else, in the eyes of the Holy Spirit, God's voice of truth, is for good purposes that bring oneness and wholeness to us all. In truth, time is to heal and to give us the time to realize what's really going on and to give us time to decide we want it and give us time to surrender the crazy, unpredictable world we think we made in fear over to God, who will simply shine his blazing light that he holds with our true self on it to cause it to simply be shined away because it's dark. Only in the dark can things not be plain and completely known in certainty for all time. There's no point in doing anything to try to make it better or even worse. It will remain the same as it always has been, a complete train wreck with dead bodies strewn all over the place. This is the world we see. Total devastation and destruction of the simple truth of God. Real love. Real love trusts. When you trust, you don't have to do anything, because with each thing we do, we are sending a message to God and to ourselves that we don't believe that we will be provided for and sustained. So we must do something to keep us alive. When in truth, when we do that, we are declaring that we are bereft and basically in a constant state of fading away. Only in our eternal spirit state are we safe and forever protected from illusions of lack and fear, in a constant state of expanding and increasing in love. So, what are we trusting in then by doing nothing? God. What is God? God is love. What is love? Love is safe and kind to all things forever. It cannot turn on you or change its mind, for it is the idea of eternal oneness, which means that there are no distinctions, divisions, or differences. One means not many. One means one. What is one cannot attack nor be attacked. How can what is one attack itself? True, this does not seem to be the case, but that's because we don't believe God created a heavenly state of mind, being, for us and set us in for all time. You believe that, or we believe, I should say, that he created heaven, but it's not for us. So, what's left? Hell, obviously. Why would God not create it for us? Open your eyes and look at the answer. The world. The world is proof that heaven could not possibly exist. And if it did, well, we're not in it. No matter how many good things we try to do, no matter how many sacrifices we make, so it cannot be for us. We must be terrible sinners that had better do something to atone for our evil nature. Right? Wrong. We need do nothing because God is a good God. Well, he's better than good because he didn't create bad, so he outperforms our expectations in every way all the time, leaving us dumbfounded with every miracle he causes. Not only did he create us, he created us as an extension of himself. There is no place where God ends and where we begin. There's no difference in God's eye when he looks at himself and when he looks at us, because we are one, which means we are love, real love. All we really need to do is more of an undoing. We need to stop doing anything to prevent the awareness of our true nature and being from being quite apparent to us. Understanding God is a little like thinking about being in space. When you are in space, the laws that we believe are inevitable don't apply. No gravity, no air, no night, no horizon, no up, no down. It's kind of freaky. And so is God's reality, even though it's ours. With God, he didn't create time, so there is no time. He didn't create evil or bad, so there isn't evil and bad. He didn't create space or physicality, so there is no world, no universe, no air, no sun, no nothing. But he did create spirit, and spirit is one, and we are one with it. If we can't be a body because there is no physicality, if there is no time for us to have changed ourselves from what God created, then we must remain as God created us to be. And we are, in truth, in reality. If you are tired of unreality and lies and a fictional world that is so unreliable and out of control that even the idea of letting go of it scares you to the bone, then trust God and let go of it. It only seems to persist because we won't let go. God won't wrest it out of our hands. If we want to dream, we can have something that's impossible and be miserable in that dream. Well, so be it. God's not concerned. He's not worried about nightmares of nothingness affecting him or us. He can't even see it. He doesn't even realize it exists because it doesn't. Certainly, at this point, your ego is freaking out, insisting in your unconscious mind and subconscious levels of mind that this is a crazy information and to run away from it, lest we go totally insane and lose our minds. Of course, it would think this. The opposite of God, which is nothing, never, must be very afraid of what is everything, forever, and it is. It shakes at the idea that we may be something beyond a little pile of dust and water set to die and disappear. Even if what I just spoke of, heaven and truth and reality, were not true, though they most certainly are the only truth there is, wouldn't it still be better to trust in a happier reality than the one that causes us so much strife, misery, stress, and heartache? I would think so. Let's be open-minded. What God is, what we are, along with him, what reality is, now and forever, requires a very open mind to even conceive of, let alone fully understand. In fact, it's beyond conception, beyond any real explanation, and beyond examination. It can be accepted and accepted only and only fully and for all time, or not at all. Truth, like God and us, as his extension, are whole and complete with no separate parts forever. That's one big chunk. It's not fragmented, divided, and weak. It's a gentle strength that doesn't coerce or deceive you to join with it. It simply offers you its hand in gentle laughter and says, "Come, my son, come home to where you never left. Eat at my table of abundant love and supply, with everyone in peace and harmony and safety forever. For you are my family. None can be excluded, and nothing can divide us." What does it take to have this be our reality? Well, nothing, because it already is. We must stop trying to make ourselves. We must quit planning, quit providing for ourselves. It's not an easy request, but in return, God will give us everything of value, and that lasts forever. Amen. We must approach God, who's just there, right there, next to us, inside our mind, just waiting for us to empty our hands of the world so he can give us heaven. Do it now, my friend. Do it now. Pensive thought to ponder. We are not here to do. We are here to be. We are not human doings. We aren't even human beings. We are what God created us to be, and that being is the same as he is. It may seem truly beyond bizarre concept to be in heaven without a body, but that's because no concept we can envision can show us how wonderful it must be to be as we are, instead of trying to make ourselves be something without having any idea what we are doing, what we should be becoming, or why we are trying to become it, especially when we already are what God created us to be. Let it be, and be happy forever. See you in my next video.